Hi, everyone. We're swishing in. If you heard that, I don't know if you heard that. You might have. It sounded like this. A media sound. Hey, it's Emil. It's Emil Guillermo. Emil Amok to you. Welcome to my Takeout, my Emil Amok's Takeout, my takes on all things considerable. You get the joke if you know me. No, we're here. We're infrequently these because this is hard. It's a hard time. There's illness, the viruses all over, um, and then just the general malaise from an overabundance of stuff to worry about, like what's going on in the world, in our government, with the tariffs. Oh, no tariffs, yes tariffs. I guess now they're just 30%. They were 145 on China. Now it's just 30%. I guess that's better. Maybe a war, maybe no war. The Arabs are our friends now because they're giving a lot of money to Donald. I just want Donald Trump to know that plane that he's getting, if he really thinks it's his plane, it's our plane. It's America's plane, right? It's America's plane. He doesn't have the right to that. I mean, it's not a personal gift. You can't. The Constitution says you can't accept personal gifts. That's America's plane. And you know what? I'd have second thoughts about a secondhand $400 million jet that the people don't even want. The people who are offering to don't. It's like it's like an after. They've got newer planes, and they're saying, "Oh, you must be, I guess, pretty desperate to want our hand me downs." It's just really kind of depressing. And so for the last couple of days, haven't been feeling really tip top. Although we had an interview with Ishmael Reed, check it out on our YouTube channel. His play Life Among the Aryans opens tonight in Oakland. There's a special gala. He says, "Oh, it's not a gala. You just put on a clean T-shirt, Emil." It's a gala though, and then the play opens. The play was written in 2018, 2019, and it had its world premiere at the New Eurekan Poets Cafe. I know some members of the cast and the director of that performance. I was not in that, although I have been in many Ishmael Reed productions. I'm not in this one because there was a conflict. I was in another production in New York of Ishmael's. So the Life Among the Aryans predicts the January 6th insurrection. So you ought to catch it. You ought to catch it. It's worth catching. If you're in Oakland, the Black Rep Group, go to Eventbrite. Here, I'll put it up here. If you're watching me, there's your link. Your link at Eventbrite, eventbrite.com. Life Among the Aryans. You get your tickets there. All right, and I like to promote Ishmael's projects because they're unique. They're unique. Oh, and I should get rid of the Oakland Penn sign because this is technically not an Oakland. This is technically Emil Amok's Takeout, not Oakland Penn. So it is breaking news. Breaking news. Emil messed up on the technical side here for the podcast. Anyway, I want to mention that with Ishmael, and then also I want to mention what I'm doing. I'm doing Monday Night Marsh in San Francisco on the 19th, and also on June 2nd. On the 19th, I'm just doing a little flavor of my Trumps, Popes, and ditties. That's on May 19th, and next Monday. 7 o'clock. Get your tickets there at Ovation Tix. And then also June 2nd, I come back and do a longer thing. I'm not just the open, where I go on for about 5-10 minutes. I do a full 20 of a show that I'm working on, Emil Amok 69. Emil Amok 69? And you got a problem with Diddy, Emil? You're calling your show Emil Amok 69? Okay. That's Emil Amok, 69. I explained the show. Anyway, it's a show that I'm bringing to Canada and to other fringes in the summer, and the show that I'll be doing this year. It's the latest Emil Amok monologue. And of course, we have to try things out. And that's why we go to the Marsh on the Monday Night Marsh. The folks there, great. So I love the Marsh. You know that. I've been working out at the Marsh since 2015, really. 2014, took my first class. 2015, did my first shows. And it's just a wonderful little place there. In my old neighborhood, in the intermission, I guess you would call it. It's the Mission between 22nd and Liberty, 22nd and 21st. Great, great place now, right? I mean, it's just jumping. I walk along Valencia Street, and it reminds me of the Lower East Side. It reminds me of, New York, where I go and, do my shows, at St. Mark's, under St. Mark's, or at the Fringe, New York City Fringe. I love doing it there because it's New York, but, I like performing here too. The Marsh, that's where I go. Monday Night Marsh, May 19th and June 2nd. Trumps, Popes, and Ditties. Check it out. All right. Tickets at Ovation Tix. And if you're watching, there's the link for that. So please check it out. All right. So today's show 871, Donald Trump just astounds me. Of the amount of, I guess, his Jewish friends who are still his friends after all this Arab stuff, would call him just full of chutzpah, right? And there he is over there, talking about deals. It's all about deals with Donald Trump. And it made me wonder about leadership in general, there are all these sociology guys, Durkheim had this idea about the strong man, the individual, the leader, the strong man, not the strong man, but the individual as leader. And so this is kind of an appendage of that a country takes on the attributes and strengths or qualities of its leader. And if you look at Trump, what are his qualities? He's a philanderer. He's a convicted felon. He is he was found liable for sexual assault. He has been bankrupt many times. He ran that fraudulent Trump University. He is a brander, right? He likes to put his name on everything. I don't know. Does Stormy Daniels have a tramp stamp that says Trump? Maybe. But he brands everything. This is the guy who is our president. And under my theory, a country takes on the qualities of its leader, which doesn't bode well for us. And yet we see all these. I mean, you say, "Oh, come on, Emil, that can't be true." But look at the theory kind of plays out. Look at the people, that John Sauer guy who was arguing for the United States, right, on the birthright citizenship case. I mean, he's a smart guy, but he sees Trump's view, he adopts it, he's out there fighting. Same thing. Pam Bondi, Hegseth, all of them, and that's like right there, the upper crust of Trumpville. And then everyone else below, people seem to be going along. I mean, there are protests there. And I guess it is true that there is a resistance this time that is being led by elite institutions who find themselves endangered by Trump. So I'm talking about Harvard. I'm talking about elite law firms. I'm talking about institutions that are pushing back, which is good. But where are the people? I mean, Trump gets away with this because there's still that solid core group of MAGA folks who won't quit him, who will stay with him. And so, you have to wonder, like, about this theory. Americans vote for a leader, and then they end up taking on the qualities of that leader, which is not good, which is not good for America right now, which is what I was thinking about when I was telling my story about, the Pope as the antidote to Donald Trump, because Donald Trump is the amoral leader. The Pope is the moral leader, specifically for Catholics, but he ends up, because of his, his position, he's somewhat non-denominational if you're just looking for a good guy. And even he's not all that good, on some issues. Like, ask him about how he feels about contraception. I'm not sure. Ask him how he feels about, gay marriage. I'm not sure. About women in the priesthood. Oh, he's probably definitely against that. Although Francis was more toward opening up women to at least the diaconate, so they could be deacons. So, but it in terms of good guys, you would still have to say, okay, the Pope is good, Donald Trump is bad. There's your dichotomy. There's your, the two heads. And where do you stand? And, America right now is the path that Donald Trump is laying out is for a kind of lawlessness, a legal lawlessness, if that makes sense. I mean, this whole thing about birthright citizenship today is not about the specifics about birthright citizenship and being in the Constitution and giving, citizenship to people born here and also naturalized. If you're naturalized here, you get citizenship according to the first line, 14th Amendment. But really, where the case is being argued is about the procedural matter, that Trump is upset that he wants to change this, but he's being stopped by district judges who are saying, you can't do this. That's unconstitutional. It's lawless. It's unlawful. And Trump is saying, no, we can do it. And that's where the argument is now. And the Supreme Court has to decide. So we're not even talking about this idea of birthright citizenship specifically. We're talking about, does the executive branch have the right to really control everything so that whatever it says goes? And there are people who believe that they are, they're following the leader and they want to make America in Trump's image. And it's kind of scary because that kind of world does not even seem like an America that we know. It really is more like a monarchy, dictatorship, authoritarian rule, call it what you will, but that was what the argument is about when you saw the news channels juggle between what did the Trump lawyers say and what did Diddy say, or what did Cassie Ventura say. I mean, that's kind of wild, right? That if you're a news junkie, you are juggling between the Diddy trial and Trump's undoing of America before the Supreme Court. That's just a moment. You're not going to find that moment at any point in our history where you find a guy who should be brought up on domestic violence charges, but maybe the Justice Department overreached when they said, no, we're getting him on RICO, racketeering. Maybe they know how it's done, or maybe it was a thing a year ago and now it's maybe not a thing because Donald Trump beat it. He beat RICO charges in Atlanta, but mostly because the prosecutors in Atlanta kind of screwed up a little bit. Also because Trump won the presidency and the case went away. That's another thing about justice. Justice loses its appetite and things go away. And so the bad guys win. So here we have Donald Trump wanting to change the Constitution. And it's, mind you, it's not just the 14th Amendment and birthright citizenship. Because if he can get by the idea that judges can stop whatever he wants by issuing universal injunctions, national injunctions, it stops him cold. He can't do what he wants. He's got that check. That's democracy, right? Oh no, we don't need that. We don't need that. The judges, they can't have that. But thank goodness the liberal judges pushed back and said, hey, this is like a catch me if you can kind of thing. Everyone's got to sue. If your rights get taken away, you got to sue for your rights. That's not the way they made America. America wasn't made so that you have to sue for your rights to get your rights. You know, you're here, you're American, you got rights. It's not sue for them. And that's not the way it's supposed to be. But that's the way, and who can get to that next level where you can sue for your rights and sue for justice? Rich people. Not the poor, rich people. So everything is coming to this idea that, hey, it's all about the rich. And if you made a decision, say 30, 40, 50 years ago, that yes, I'm all for beauty and art and poetry and hell with money. I don't need the money. I'm spiritual, not material. Well, maybe you're reconsidering now. Maybe if that was such a good idea. Or maybe you should have just done what a lot of those rich guys do. You go for the money first, and then you wean off the money, and then you could be spiritual. But you've got your money to, like, ward off all the evils because you've got money and you can fight them off. And you can fight for justice, and you can have your own private army and that kind of thing. Maybe that's the way. It may be I was naive to think that just you could be spiritual and less materialistic than you have to be because enough was enough. Maybe that was just a silly thing, but I don't know. I just see that where we're heading now, everything is geared toward the rich, and you have to be rich now to get justice. I mean, that's essentially what Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson was saying. This is a catch me if you can, a kind of nation where you can break the law and just skirt justice, or you can be a president and overreach, and then you got to sue for your rights. I mean, it's this is a redefining of America, and that's just at the Supreme Court level today. And then you had Trump, with the UAE, and a lot of Filipinos that the Filipinos, I don't want to say they love the UAE and Saudi and all that, but that's where a lot of Filipinos end up in the diaspora, in jobs. I don't think they can't love it. The people there are there because they can make a living, and it's more of a living than in the Philippines. But I don't know if I've got relatives who are living there. I guess they love it, or they're forced to live, or it's better than the Philippines, like I said. But there's Donald Trump, and it's all deals. So nothing about policy. It's all about deals, all about money. This goes back to the whole leader thing. He's a real estate guy. All he sees is deals, money, enriching himself. Now, would it be nice if we had a poet as president? In the 60s, we almost did. The Democrats were toying with the idea of Eugene McCarthy, who wrote poetry. George McGovern ultimately, won the nomination that year. But what if we had Joe Biden? He had a poetic streak in him. He loves those Irish poets. I'm too bad. Also, according to this new book, he was losing his mind. I don't know. I in some ways I don't care about what was happening. According to this new book, Biden's cabinet tried to protect him from publicly showing that he may not have been fit, or that he had some lapses. Not that he was unfit. I think he was fit as a person, fit morally to be president. He may not have been physically able, but it should be water under the bridge. But it also, I mean, it is true. We get doctors, we get the record of their health. Trump has been really not as forthright about his health as some others. But, the American public deserves to know that. Okay, so on that level, okay. But does it stop someone from being a decent president? I don't know. Ask yourself this. Would you rather have Trump in these first 120 days, or would you have been happy with Joe Biden? Or Kamala? Well, he wasn't running. It was Kamala Harris, right? I know without a doubt, Kamala Harris would have been better for more people. I mean, Kamala Harris wouldn't be taking away health care from 14 million people. She wouldn't be looking to cut, $500 billion from the budget in order to pay for tax cuts to the rich. So I think, yeah, I mean, you could read the book that was written by Jake Tapper and a guy from Axios about Biden. Interesting. All right, he didn't recognize George Clooney. Hey, I was in my living room the other day and I said, "Hi, George." Oh, it wasn't George Clooney. Oh, my son-in-law. Oh, hi, George. Say, no big deal. Not really. And besides, with Biden, he got out. He did the right thing. But I guess it'll sell books. I'm not as interested in that. I'm more interested in what's going on now with Trump. What's going on, and actually go the next step and say, what's his health like? He's stumbling around. He's got bad posture. And boy, he loves to suck up to those Arabs. I mean, how badly do you want that $400 million airplane? Donald, I remind you, that's our airplane. It's the people's airplane. It's not yours. Maybe ultimately later, but it's not yours. Not while you're president. It's going to cost $1 billion to refurbish. This is like getting an old BMW 2002 and saying, "Oh, this is great. It's only going to cost me like $30,000 to refurbish it." Okay, maybe using a BMW is a bad metaphor. Maybe it's a better metaphor to say, "Oh, this is like getting an old Alfa Romeo Spider 1971, which I drove around in my youth, and it only costs like $50,000 to refurbish it. You're giving me this old doesn't run Alfa Romeo Spider for like $200 because I'm going to send my Italian mechanics kids to college on refurbishing it." Anyway, all right, just some thoughts, some thoughts today about where we are, our leaders. We voted for this guy. This just came across the wires. Washington Post reports. Massive military parade planned in Washington next month will cost an estimated $25 to $45 million, involving warplanes, hundreds of Army vehicles. This is the commemoration of the 250th anniversary of the Army, to be held on June 14th, Flag Day, which is the same day as President Trump's 79th birthday, and coincidentally, and the way I like to see it, the day my father died. I think America will die if they do that. And only because, look, Donald Trump needs something for his ego. If he doesn't get his $400 million airplane, he'll spend $45 million to have this big Russia-like parade. There's still time to say, no, Donald, no Russia-like parade. We don't need to show off to the world. That's not what a world leader does. I mean, that's what a bad world leader does, but it's not what a secure uh, American, democracy-oriented world leader does. Who was more concerned about his people than his ego. That's the problem with Donald Trump. That's his problem. Okay, so all right, we talked about birthright citizenship. Yeah, I mean, going back between the Supreme Court hearing and Diddy's, whatever was happening at the Diddy trial with Cassie Ventura, man, it's getting spicy. Although, look, I mean, I'm waiting to hear. Okay, where's the racketeering? Okay, he beats her. He has real strange, sexual practices. Not strange, but just out of the ordinary. Although I did hear the word missionary come up in the description of things. But basically, it's one of those things where, okay, consenting adults, where's the problem? Oh, maybe that's a tie between Diddy and Trump. Those of us who voted for Trump, not me, but those of you who voted for, were consenting adults. And that's why it's legal. Oh, yeah, the consenting adults voting for Donald Trump. Yeah. Meanwhile, he's coming back from they call it the Saudi leg or the UAE leg, the leg of his Middle East tour. I'm telling you, he's making it so that there's so much to talk about, so much that you have to care about that you don't care anymore. That your head hurts, your head's spinning. Yeah, don't want it. Don't want to hear. Don't want to hear about it. Just let him. We voted for him. Let him do. Let him do what he wants. Right? No. You got to stand up. You got to stand up. Call your congressman. Let him know that, hey, you're not going to cut Medicaid, Medi-Cal in California, Medicaid. The Medicaid cuts. If he cuts Medicaid, Medicare is next and all the other, because it'll show it just opens up the wound. And if it means 13 million get lopped off without insurance, this is what Obamacare was trying to change, right? They were talking about 30 million, no insurance. Now we got Obamacare. Now more people have insurance. Now more are insured. But I guess this goes back to that leader theory that we want to be as mean and as cruel and as sadistic as our leader. God, I hope not. I hope not. But if you don't call your congressman, your member of Congress, and let them know that this is unconscionable, right? This is unconscionable. This is not America. And we already know, look, everything, there's like a new thing every day, and we've forgotten about the thing the previous day. Let us not forget Kilmar, Abrego Garcia. I mean, I almost forgot his name there. Let's not forget Kilmar, Abrego Garcia. Let's not forget all the other things that are happening. Let's not forget those refugees under TPS who are now being sent back or threatened to being sent back. It's so un-American. And yet, it's as American as Trump is, right? He's the definition of America. And that definition is mean and cruel and venal. Venal meaning corrupt, meaning selfish. Give me the plane. Give me the plane. Give me the plane. That's what he's about. The plane. It's my plane. It's my plane, not your plane. Give me the plane. Give me the plane. Give me the plane. Oh, it's our plane. Look, if he comes away with that plane, we got to remind him that's our plane. And you know what? Instead of a bullet train from Bakersfield to Merced, I want to take that plane from Bakersfield to Merced. We want that plane to take rides from Fresno to Bakersfield. That's what we need. God. I mean, he wants to take away the bullet train, right? California's bullet train. That was such a badly managed plan. It's unfortunate because, if you live in the Central Valley, you're looking forward to, a bullet train. Yeah. No, I don't know what's going to happen. They should have had it long ago. At least a usable portion. Except I think now the portion they're working on is like Merced to Bakersfield, which I don't know how that helps anybody really. All right, so I got to mention the Warriors briefly. Only that I tried. Maybe that's why I was feeling bad. I was feeling bad. I was a little sick. Warriors not playing well. Jimmy Butler clearly not the answer they need. Kuminga, maybe the answer. The funny thing, Steve Kerr, the coach, kept saying, "Oh, we saw the numbers when Kuminga and Jimmy Butler were together, and they don't play well. So that's why he didn't play Jonathan Kuminga. But they needed Kuminga because he is good, frustratingly so, because sometimes he's bad, and when you want him to be good, he's bad. And very rarely do you want him, very rarely does he like excel and show up and he's good all the time. That consistency is not there. So in the end, you say, oh, wow, he had a good game after all, even though I was yelling at my TV set half the time. But I like Kuminga, and I hope the Warriors can find a way to keep him because they invested in him. He's only 22. He's only 22. He can get better with the right coach. So I don't know if Steve Kerr. I don't know if Steve Kerr is the right coach anymore. I used to like Steve Kerr, but I don't know. He made some bonehead moves with Kuminga and with Trace Jackson Davis. They should have been playing a little more. It's hard. Look, I trying to find the right pieces, but they need shooter. They need a shooter. I mean, the other team always has a good shooter. Fred VanVleet. Oh my God. Naz Reid, a center who with a 3-point shot, and Randall, Julius Randle, man, my God, he's much better than he was at the Knicks. But Knicks traded Karl Anthony Towns. See, the Warriors need a big guy like that. They need someone big. They're still a big away because Jonathan Kuminga isn't that guy. So I don't know, let's see what happens. We've got a year. I wanted to quit the Warriors, but I can't because I go back to when they were playing at the San Francisco Civic Auditorium. I saw Nate Thurman. I saw Wilt play in. I think Wilt played in the Cow Palace. But when they played at the Civic Auditorium, they had Rick Barry and they had Thurman and they had Jeff Mullins. That's when I really came into my own. And they said, drag my dad to go to the Warrior games. He didn't want to. And it only fit like 3,000 people. And the NBA was nothing back then. But I watched. And I always rooted for the Warriors. Bill King was the announcer. Bill King, I remember meeting Bill King in 1973 in Boston. I was covering a college game or covering the game for my college radio station. I got to meet King and Rick Barry as they were like walking out of the Boston Garden. What a guy that Bill King was. What an announcer. He was kind of a role model. Bill King. What a guy. the late Bill King. They always used to say, "Oh, Bill King, he loved opera. He loved the opera." Okay, that's it. I like to keep these short now because people don't look at the long ones. I mean, I'll send out a long version of this, and then people will look at the 60 seconds that AI cuts out. But I do want to say, check out Ishmael Reed's Life Among the Aryans. It's at the Black Rep Group in Oakland. Big gala show tonight, and it's on through June 1st. Get your tickets at Eventbrite. Reasonable tickets. Senior prices like $20. Regular ticket price $25. I mean that if you've been to a New York play, you go to New York play and it's like, now to buy these tickets, we'll have to have a loan application. I mean, it's really pricey. This is reasonable. This, you could probably do like a DoorDash thing. But the Black Rep Group in Oakland, Life Among the Aryans, Ishmael Reed's, he is really, I would say, among living writers in Oakland, he's got to be the preeminent. Okay, there are other eminent writers. I don't want to shortchange anyone. I mean, one came instantly to mind as I said that. A lot of great writers, and look, a lot of them are old friends of Ishmael's. Maxine Hunt Kingston, comes to mind. Anyway, but he's still doing it. 87, still doing it. This play, Life Among the Aryans, check it out. Rarely performed in the Bay Area. It is now because there's a real connection. January 6th, check it out. Life Among the Aryans starts today through June 1st. And then I just want to make another mention for my shows. I'm at Monday Night Marsh, 1062 Valencia in San Francisco. Not the one in Oakland, or Berkeley rather, San Francisco. It's where really I got my start doing storytelling. So May 19th, I do like a 5-10 minute thing. June 2nd, 20-minute thing. Trumps, Popes, and Ditties. Check it out. Or that's sort of like a working title. It's Emil Amok 69. It's going to go in my show that I do in throughout the summer. But check it out if you can. OvationTix.com for tickets. SF Marsh, Monday Night Marsh. That's the 19th and June 2nd. Okay. All right. Hey, thank you. Thank you for being here with me. Check out this show if you've missed any or all of it. YouTube.com/AdamElamuk. Thank you for being here with me. We like to end with a little meditation because love makes the world go round, right? So, as I wish for me, I wish for you. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. And may you live with ease. Emil Guillermo here. Till next time.